What is up, gamers? We got the patch notes for the upcoming April Fool's update, which is going to be a rolling patch update, so there won't be any downtime maintenance. All you'll have to do around 8 p.m. Pacific time, around 11 p.m. Eastern time, is to close your game and reopen it. Now, these updates are usually early. They're usually early by anywhere from half an hour to an hour, so you can actually start checking pretty damn early. But if you don't want to check and you just want to be notified and spammed, just join our Discord, discord.gg/thenewmeta. You'll be able to find all the information there. We got tons of really active, really knowledgeable players, and it's a really fun place to spend your time waiting for these patches to drop, talking about, I don't know, toilet humor and stuff like that. Anyways, as far as the patch notes go, I've got the uniforms up here on my phone to compare, because I believe on paper we're not seeing huge gains. So obviously this doesn't tell the whole story. The tail of the tape is only part of the tale, but it's still something to keep in mind. So Crescent gets her B-Girl crew uniform, where she becomes a tier 4. She's still combat, she's still a hero. This is paywall, full paywall. So what you're going to have to do, if you want to get these tokens, if you want to get this uniform, you have, and again, they're way off with the centering on this icon. I can't, bro. This is elementary. It's almost like they're doing it on purpose at this point. You have to be like painfully bad at your job to do this. Anyways, you're going to have to spend real money buying packs. And in addition to whatever rewards those packs give you, they will also give you these special event token, event tokens that you can use to get her uniform, or Squirrel Girl's uniform, or Satana's uniform from last year, or if you are really sadistic, the very old and now outdated Gwenpool uniform. Keep in mind that the old versions of these tokens, although they look similar because they have the little Jester's hat icon, they're not the same, and they are not reusable. I did have some people hit me up on Discord asking me, hey, I've saved up for 2 years now. Does that mean this year I'll be able to get this for free because they give us 10 tokens for free? Unfortunately not. They will be giving, tokens for free. If you go to the March Mischief update celebration event, you will see that there is a login event where they give away 10 tokens on the 7th day. This is standard boilerplate logic for Netmarble. They do this for every single seasonal. So yes, if you want to spend as little money as possible, then you do have to wait 7 days to pick up Crescent's uniform, which is actually smart, because in the meantime, you can see reviews and actually see if it's worth it. But you get these 10 tokens for free, and then you would spend an equivalent of about $20 more to get the other 20 tickets. So as far as Crescent's uniform goes, she gets 20% guaranteed crit rate on her uniform effect with skill damage, bonus damage. Now this has gone up quite a bit, because before it was a chance to trigger. It was like a buff effect that had to be triggered when attacking, so it wasn't an always on passive. They also increased it from 15 to 20% and increased the skill damage, bonus damage from 20 to 35. So this is probably the biggest upgrade for Crescent, and it's good that it's just passive now. It doesn't have to be activated when attacking. Her ultimate skill, Moonlight Shockwave, apparently changes. I can't really see because the numbers seem to be almost the same, or very similar to the same. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think it's just it's the 40% attack. That's the only change. They added the 40% attack buff for 10 seconds. They took away the accumulation, the increase rate for the accumulation. So they may be changing her from accumulation damage received to accumulation damage dealt. I believe they are, but anyways, let's keep going. Leadership is the same, 60% to physical attack to allies. Her passive is 35% physical attack, 50% with super armor, and then 30% damage reduction. This is exactly the same. And then her IO passive is exactly the same. There may be more wording to it. 200% HP, changes the creature's ability to the character's abilities. Yeah, I think some of this stuff is new. We'll have to wait and see how it really plays out, because it's hard to tell whether this is good. But everything else is the same. The 100% attack defense and the 50% chance increased crit damage. But the 200% HP is a new stat. So we'll have to wait and see if that actually makes IO tanky enough, because 200% is kind of a big number. As far as her skills go, she has paralysis on her 3rd skill, fracture on her 4th skill, and then she has snare and silence on the 5th. So she is missing 1 ABX skill and 1 ABL skill. Although you don't use her for ABL, just mind you. She is missing burn for ABX, and she's missing shock for ABL. But just so we're clear on that, in case she's really good, she's so good scoring wise that you can use her for ABL content, then maybe that becomes a conversation. But just so we're aware, she is missing one of each. So seems like tier 4ing her is kind of an important prerogative, but you can always switch to Hope if you're like a Giga Whale and cancel on the burn day in case tier 4 maybe isn't necessary. Like, who knows? It probably will be necessary, but I'm just putting that out there as a sort of a thought experiment kind of thing. Her third skill gives the 100% ignore dodge for 5 seconds with the frenzy buff. I believe they're just moving some of these buffs around from different skills. So before, her 5th skill had 100% ignore dodge, and they've moved it over to her 3rd skill. Her 4th skill now has the 15% heal for 2 seconds, which was always on her 4th skill before. It also has the 100% physical reflect, which was the same as before, and also for 3 seconds. And then it has another frenzy buff. So yeah, pretty much the same. And then her 5th skill has the 85% chance to penetrate, which is the same. It's the same, still 6 seconds as well. And then the 5 seconds of invincibility is the same. And then the accumulation. It says 10% of pure damage when attacking. So it seems like they've changed her from damage taken to damage dealt for the accumulation buff. So that's quite nice. That's quite nice. So that's why now her tier 3 doesn't go to 100% because it's not necessary, because as she's doing damage, it will. So she's going to be much, much easier to play. This is probably the only change that people who play Crescent really care about, is that she's going from a damage received accumulation like Sharon Rogers, Luke Cage, to damage dealt accumulation, which is basically every other character that has accumulation that's relevant. So that's really good. That's nice. The only thing to lament here, oh no, never mind. They do have the iframe ignore on the 3rd skill. Sorry, I missed that. But they don't have the counter attack anymore. And again, they moved the iframe ignore and the counter from the 2nd skill over to the 3rd skill. She also lost, oh no, she didn't lose her barrier. Her barrier is still there for 5 hits for 5 seconds. But yeah, that's about it. So again, pretty good on paper, but not gonna blow you away for a seasonal paywall uniform. The proof is really in the pudding. Because she also gets, you'll see with her tier 4 buff, she gets chain hit damage. We'll have to wait and see how many of her skills can be cancelable. That's really the issue. Crescent was not very cancelable in the past, and that was pretty bad for her hit counter and for her ABX scores. Ancient One, on the other hand, is, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Ancient One. Blast, superhero male, magic leadership abilities, nothing new there. The uniform effect increasing buffs and debuffs by 20% is exactly the same. The skill damage, bonus damage is being bumped up by 10 and 5% respectively, but that's not very much. Keep in mind the debuffs is the debuffs that Ancient One uses on enemies, so that's good for things like Dispatch where you can apply debuffs. And again, they completely missed the mark on this one here. Let me just click through to make sure. Yeah, they definitely missed the mark on lining that up. The leadership for 55% increased energy attack for all blast allies. That's up by 5%, so huge numbers there. The passive is 30, 30, 45, which is up by 5%, so very, very small incremental, essentially meaningless improvements on the support leadership abilities. And then the 30% crit damage, 30% guaranteed crit, 35% reflect, all exactly, say it with me now, the same. Now, they seemed completely, creatively bereft here. Chi Blast and Chi Flow. No Chi though. Sorry to Goku. Then we have Trance, Wave of Force, and Mirror Dimension. Mirror Dimension sounds cool, but honestly, the other 4 sounds like ChatGPT came up with them. They are it's like, what kind of skills would a monk have in an RPG? And it's just, there you go. The most generic shit you've ever heard. Ancient One does have Snare, for what it's worth, and Paralysis. Those are only 2 of the effects of the 6 needed. Ancient One does get V-Pad for the first time, which is quite nice. So yeah, the V-Pad is brand new. That's pretty cool. The time freezing, I believe, is... Nope, not new either. It's on the 4th skill here. Time freezing is the same. The invisibility is the same as well. They had invisibility before, and the immunity. The frenzy buff is nice, but yeah, they already had frenzy buffs as well. It's just a little bit higher. And then the all allies heal on the 5th skill from Mirror Dimension. Unfortunately, that's also the same. It's already a thing on Ancient One's 5th skill, the 5% heal and the remove and the cleanse all debuffs. The only improvement here is that they added invincibility and another frenzy buff. So this should make Ancient One better when they cast this skill. Maybe for some kind of Alliance Conquest, sort of Otherworld Battle PvP angle. But it's going to be very, very difficult because The main reason, since Ancient One doesn't have iframe ignore, right? The main reason, or immortality or revive, the main reason you'd use Ancient One is as a support, right? To leverage this support buff for elemental characters. Think of all the elemental characters that are dominating PvP right now. There are none. Okay. Think about all the PvP characters that were good like a year ago in PvP, like Ghost Rider and Jean Grey. Yeah. So that's kind of the issue right now. So I don't actually know where Ancient One fits in the game. Again, it seems like maybe a tier 4 and skip the uniform, because it's a full cost uniform. It's 1750 crystals, and now is the worst time to buy it with the anniversary coming around, because you could almost get more than 2 uniforms for this price with the 50% discount applied for other uniforms, because other uniforms at 50% is $875. So that comes to, you can get exactly 2. Yeah. So that's kind of nutty. That's kind of nutty. Anywho, as far as their tier 4s go, Crescent gets a very nice tier 4. She gets 50% basic attack and 30% chain hit for 10 seconds. Very, very nice. I believe Moon Knight has a similar one with the chain hit. This is very, very good for ABX if she has, say it with me now, a lot of hits. Oh, he doesn't have chain hit? Really? I really thought Moon Knight had chain hit on his tier 4. All right, somebody has chain hit on the tier 4. I don't know. Maybe it's Venom or something like that. I honestly cannot remember. Somebody has chain hit on their tier 4, and it made them quite nice. I cannot remember. And then Ancient One gets a heal, 15% heal for 10 seconds, which is very, very, like 150% HP. And then if basic attack increase up to 90%. So, yeah, Ancient One seems like they want you to use them for PvP, but then they suck for PvP because no iframe ignore and no other tools. So, yeah, go figure, basically. I don't know. Yeah. Guys, they can only make one good uniform at a time, okay? More than one good uniform at a time. Unfortunately, we're asking for too much. The rest of the video, I'm just going to quickly blitz through the event stuff because, you know, it's honestly almost more relevant than some of these uniforms. Yeah. So we're going to have the April event quest with the Crescent tokens. We already had the better event tokens that are expiring right now with the P card and the CTP. These are going to be the event tokens that give you access to tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 chests, as well as the Kingpin icon and things like that. It's not as good of an event, but it's still well worth doing. And the other reason why I bring this up is because the best sale, if you want to get those tokens quickly, those Jester tokens, the best sale is right here. It's right here. So you get, for $10, right, you get 10 of the Mischief tokens, so you buy it 3 times if you want to get the uniform right away, but you get 400 event tokens. So and then you also get 1,100 crystals. So this is a very, very competitive pack if you want to get Crescent's uniform right away, and it's probably what I will be purchasing 3 times to get the 30 tokens. Because in addition to the 30 tokens, I get a competitive amount of crystals. I get 3,300. Now, I am missing out on about 700 crystals if I had just bought raw crystal packs. But on the other hand, I trade those 700 crystals for 1,200 event tokens, which means I can then buy out this whole damn shop. And I can get like I can get the Vishanti book selector. I can get the emblem enhancement kits. I can get the energy. It's a lot of nice stuff here. Some people won't value that over crystals. I understand. You have other options, but I'm just pointing that out. There is also a special relay because they're going for our wallets, boys. It's the year of the wallet. So just keep this in mind. If you are a big blubbery whale, for $100, you get 2 chances at a Brilli. You get 6 Odin's Blessings. I know that shit's calling Dank One's name, like the Green Goblin mask. And you get 100 tokens. Then you can buy number 2, which I don't think is very good, to be honest with you. I don't think this is good in terms of value. But then you can buy number 3, and I don't think this one is good either. But for the whales that are trying to catch up, if you are a Giga Whale and you are returning to the game and you need to catch up now, this is pretty nice because you get a 6-star crafted card selector. Yeah. Then you get a 6-star art book card selector. Yeah. And then you get 3 more P cards. Yeah. It's not bad. It's really not bad. This is specifically for that niche audience of 7 players who are listening, who are returning whales who have bad cards. That's who this is for. That's it. If you're not a returning whale with bad cards, then ignore what I've been saying because it's not. It doesn't matter. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. There are some more sales, but They're not very interesting. There's a web shop exclusive, but it's pretty bad. This one is like this one is okay if you just want to pick up the 20 tokens and wait 7 days to get the other 10 tokens. But again, I still think, because it's only a difference of 280 crystals, I still think that this is better. Because again, you're trading 280 crystals for, and whatever, some bio selectors, for 800 event tokens. So I still think this is by far the most competitive deal these days. But some people really do value the crystals, and then this is absolutely terrible. So yeah, that's the patch notes and the event sales. Sadly, I will be live tonight around 10 o'clock because these updates are usually about an hour early. So do not miss it here, YouTube. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching the video. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content. I will see you tonight. Take care.